sense of what it's like for you when you go to church, obviously, probably with pre-COVID. For example, do you have to do anything beforehand just to help you for your day?
Yeah. There's a difference here from before I had children and before I had a diagnosis, really, I guess, to after having children and having the diagnosis. Now that I know that I'm autistic, I am much more willing to sort of make it easier on myself and sort of adjust my experience of the environment to suit me better. Before diagnosis and before having children, I just went to church like anybody, and didn't wear earplugs and didn't, like escape away after the service was over to avoid the sort of coffee mess of humanity all talking together. Since being diagnosed and also importantly, since having children with me in the church that I'm responsible for, like babies in the church building, I definitely do more. Obviously, we've not been meeting up in person since COVID, but before that, I would, my local church here where I stay, I would every single week be wearing earplugs the whole time. So from before I leave my house until after I get home from church, have earplugs in just to cut down on some of the sensory information, that sort of barrage. It's always a barrage of sort of light and noise and the presence of other people that I feel, physically makes me more likely to become stressed out or anxious or feel just uncomfortable. So I cut out what I can of that experience. I put in earplugs so that I don't hear as much of the crashing around of my children as I try to get their shoes on, coats on, out the door, the sort of arguments that families tend to have on their way to church. Are you kidding me? You're still in the bathroom. Get out of there. Teeth brushed, out the door. Just to cut down on the noise of that. And then when I get to the church building, the music is quite loud as well. We've got a fairly sort of older type population where people are much more likely to be experiencing loss of hearing than they are to be hearing, things too loudly. So the volume of the microphones and just the speakers for the music is really, really loud. So I just keep the earplugs in the whole time. And since being diagnosed as autistic, another way that I give myself space in a church environment is when we are sort of gathering together after the service to have coffee and biscuits and chat time, I give myself the freedom to just stay within a group of people that I already feel really comfortable in. I don't feel like I have to force myself to be the one who is going around the whole group of everyone in the room just saying hello and how are you and chatting about the weather. I let myself not be that person. I'm there, I'm watching my kids crash into things and I'm just sort of waiting to leave. So it sounds really awful. Mostly it's the earplugs to keep the sound down a bit.